Hi, this is Matt Buttner with List Now Realty. I'm the broker and owner of List Now Realty, and I just wanted to take a minute to do a video and kind of explain how the MLS works. A lot of people really don't understand how the MLS works, don't even understand what the MLS really is. So just wanted to do a quick video here, kind of explain how it works, what happens when you put your property on the MLS, how does it get to Zillow, and why do you see some differences between your listing on the MLS versus on Zillow versus on Realtor.com, stuff like that. So starting off here on our website, I'll scroll down here to our coverage area. And the reason we have a coverage area is the MLS is very local to specific areas. There's no such thing as a nationwide MLS. That doesn't exist. Each particular area is going to have their own MLS. And now, where we're located in Central Florida, we're actually very lucky because our MLS is the largest in Central Florida, or largest in Florida, and the largest in a lot of places, and it covers 15 counties. So we have a huge coverage area. So what that means is the individual realtor associations in these areas have all banded together, and they've decided to use the same MLS so that they can all share information between each other. So that's why we have, if you notice up here in Volusia County is split between east and west. We don't cover the east side of Volusia County. And the reason for that is that's where Daytona Beach and New Smyrna Beach are. And there is a separate realtor association, the Daytona Beach Association of Realtors, and there's also the New Smyrna Beach Association of Realtors. And they have their own MLS. Their cities touch each other and they still use their own MLS. So if you're an agent that works the Daytona area and New Smyrna, you have to have access to both. And they have not joined the MLS that we're a part of, so that's why we don't have access over there. If your property is over in Daytona, you need to list it on the Daytona Beach MLS because that's where the agents in that area are looking for listings. So this blue area, this represents our coverage area. We don't list anywhere where we don't have 100% coverage. There are some areas that are kind of overlapping. Maybe half the county is covered by one MLS, half is covered by the other. If that is the situation, we're going to have access to both if we're taking your listing. We're not going to take your listing and put it on one when there is another one that covers your area. You're getting 100% coverage if you list with us. We don't do anything like that. For example, Hernando County, they have their own MLS. The Association of Realtors there has chosen to use their own MLS. They don't use the MLS that we use. So that's kind of how it works. It's very local. Each area, the agents in each area are going to have their own MLS that they're looking on. And that's why it's important to have your property on the exact local MLS where agents in your area are going to be looking for properties. So let me switch over to the MLS. And this is what it looks like when we log in. I'm logged into the MLS here. It's called Stellar MLS. It used to be called My Florida Regional MLS, and they just rebranded. But basically what the MLS is, it's an online database of listings and real estate information. And it started way back in the day. They used to have, it looked like a phone book, and it was updated weekly or bi-weekly, whatever. And each new listing that came on the market, they would put into the MLS book. And all that's changed now. Everything is online, everything's digital, everything's on this website. So there are thousands of listings on the MLS at any given time, as you can imagine, with 15 counties. So let's go to one of these listings here, and I'll just show you how it works. Now, if we go here, here's a listing here. Now you can see all the information for the listing is here. This is why we ask so many questions when you go to list your property. They ask us everything, and it's very, very detailed. You don't see this level of detail on Zillow or Realtor.com anywhere else. The MLS has the most information, and then as it goes out to other websites, you get less and less information. But this is the epicenter of information. And one of the things that I want to point out here, a common question that we get, why doesn't Zillow, why doesn't Realtor.com display my contact information? I put that in my remarks. Why isn't that there? So if you notice on this listing, there is a spot of text at the top. Now, this is the public remarks. So these are the remarks. This is the paragraph that gets sent out to Zillow, Realtor.com, all the public websites. They get this. By MLS rules, we're not allowed to put phone numbers, names, commissions, anything regarding like a bonus, anything like that. Anything that they deem confidential, we can't put in this section. Where we can put it is down the bottom. Now this is called the realtor only remarks here. And you can see we've got the seller's phone number and everything in here. That's where we're allowed to put it. We can't put it up in this public remarks or else we'll get a fine for that. The MLS they scan automatically. If they pick up a phone number or a lockbox code, anything there, they'll fine us for it. So we have to put it down here. Well, the problem is once it gets sent out to Zillow and Realtor.com, this is a different listing. Once it gets sent out here, only the public remarks is displayed. So this is the paragraph from the top. This is the public remarks, and you won't see any phone numbers or anything here because we're not allowed to do it. Now, one of the ways you can get around this, at least on Zillow, now here's Realtor.com. They show things a little bit differently, but at least on Zillow, they have a section called the What I Love About the Home section. And if you go into Zillow and you claim the listing as the owner, now this is at the time of recording this video. They change things all the time, but at the time of recording this video, you can actually go and claim your listing as the owner, and you can edit certain things, very limited things, even if we have it listed. Once you claim the listing as the owner, you can edit the What I Love About the Home section, and you can put your phone number, email address, whatever you want there. So because once it gets outside of the MLS, it doesn't matter. There's no rules. No one's going to fine us if you do that. So that a lot of people actually do that because they want their information displayed there. Otherwise, it's just going to show me as the listing agent. Now, if someone does contact us on one of these sites, so for example, if they contact agent or, if they scroll down here, I should be listed somewhere. There it is, listing provided by, and you have our information. If someone calls this phone number here, now this is our office phone number, this is displayed on all of our listings. That number actually comes to us. We have a live receptionist answer it even after hours, holidays, weekends, and we provide the caller with your contact information. So that's the best way that we've found to get around this. Now, another thing that people tend to get upset about sometimes is they say, well, if I go to my listing and I press contact agent, it doesn't contact you, it sends it to some other agent. What's going on? Well, that's how Zillow makes money. That's how they have become the giant company that they are. Basically, what Zillow does is, a lot of times what they're doing is they're selling off the lead to the highest bidder. We still get leads as the listing agent. They still come through, but a majority of the leads are sold off to other agents that are looking for leads, and they pay Zillow for that. And it goes to the highest bidder. You buy leads by zip code, basically, if you're an agent. And what happens is if a buyer comes along, they click that contact agent button. It's not guaranteed to come to us. It may go to another agent. So there's nothing at all we can do about that. You can put your contact information in the What I Love About the Home section. Maybe the person will call you there, but if they click that button, it's up to Zillow, and we can't tell Zillow how to change their business model. It's just, that's how it is. So a lot of people get mad about that, but that's kind of how it works, and we really have no control over it. Another thing that people get confused about is, for example, let's actually pull up this other listing here, and I'll show you. Just so we're looking at the same listing across both. Now, the information on the MLS is super detailed, but not all of these fields match the fields on Zillow or any of the other websites. For example, if you look down here, we've got under AC, we have, when we're going to list this property, we've got a checkbox for central air and we've got a checkbox for humidity control. Well, notice what happens when you come over here to Zillow. Zillow has different fields. They call this stuff different things. They may not have all of the checkboxes that the MLS has. The MLS is way more detailed than Zillow, and Zillow couldn't possibly display all this information without making it look cluttered. So if we come down here, so Zillow calls that cooling features, whereas the MLS calls it AC. Zillow also doesn't have a humidity control option. So the only thing they're going to display is central. I can't add humidity control because Zillow doesn't have the field. There's no checkbox. There's nothing to add. Zillow just doesn't display it. So it's important to know that not all of the information is going to be displayed on Zillow or any other website. This goes for all websites. They all display it differently. And even the information that is displayed may not be exactly the same, and it might be called something different. And we really have no control over that. Each website is taking that feed from the MLS and they're displaying it how they want to display it. Another thing I find funny is on the MLS, you've got on this particular listing, it's 2 beds or 2 baths and a half bath, so 2.5 baths. If you look on Zillow, they call it 3 beds, 3 baths. Now, technically, there are 3 baths. One of them is a half bath, but Zillow doesn't specify until you get down here, and they'll actually tell you that one of those bathrooms is a half bath. So we've had people complain about that before, but we have no control over that. I can't tell Zillow how to display that. That's up to Zillow. Clears up some misconceptions and misinformation you have about the MLS. I hope it answers some of your questions, makes things a little bit more clear about how this whole thing works. And if you have any other questions, feel free to call us, shoot us an email, send us a message through the little chat bubble on our website, and we'll get back to you if you have specific questions that weren't answered in this video. So have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll be listing one of your properties soon.